I've been working on a quad panner. It's pretty simple, but it's got an auxiliary send so that we can set up a quad reverb as well. Let's have a look. So I've got an instrument track here, and what I want to be able to do is to basically project this instrument track into front left and right and rear left and right speakers in a quad setup. To achieve this, I've got a mono panner, which I could use, a stereo panner, which I'm going to use, and then I've also got a return track, return device here. And so that'll be for setting up the reverb. Let's have a look at the stereo panner first. So with the stereo panner, you've got left and right independent signals from our input. We've got, we basically just control them like that in terms of front left to right to rear left and right. This is just using a sine cosine function to make it so that in the middle, it should not be noticeably louder than at the corners or the edges. So it should all sound about equally loud. Also got controls for X and Y independently, and basically have an alpha and a theta to be able to control it from a polar coordinates point of view. Like that. Now we can link the left and right channels both along the x-axis and the y-axis. We can also mirror along both axes as well. Like that. So in order to hear this in our outputs, I would say, okay, let's send this to external output 1 and 2 and external output 3 and 4. So of course, with this video, we're not going to be able to hear that quad sound, but with my audio interface, I can. Now, I've got another output here labeled quad aux. So the idea here is that we could add a return device onto another audio track. And in this case, we're just running 2 copies of an effect. In this case, it'll automatically just load up FutureVerb by Valhalla. But we can load whatever VST we would want to, both in the front left and right and the rear left and right. And the idea here is that we would have the same reverb or very similar reverb in both instances. And so if we link our reverb settings, this means that any setting that we change on the left-hand side for the front left and right is automatically going to carry across to the rear left and right here. This also is true for presets. So if we load up different presets, these are all going to be automatically linked across both. Then we can also cross-feed our signals. So this means that some of the front left and right is also going to appear in the rear left and right, and vice versa. This is just going to make the reverb field just feel a bit more holistic, I think. Even if we just put it at like 10%. This output should also go to 1, 2, 3, and 4. So going back to our panner, let's just have them linked. Now we could basically have an independent, we also have to send the quad aux out. Now that we've created the device, go, okay, let's send this to our quad aux track, grab it on the first 2 inputs of that device, and the second pair of inputs on that device. So now we've got sort of an independent send that's going to be for our reverb, and separately from that, our dry send that's just going to be for our main speakers.